are a little bit light, aren't they, in terms of personnel at the moment. Geiger out injured, Gnabry, Posh, another two are out. Demi Abai is a big miss for them too. So injury and illness hasn't helped out Nagelsmann ahead of this game, but it's been a disappointing performance so far from Hoffenheim with 10 minutes of the first half remaining. They haven't managed successive Bundesliga victories since match days 5 and 6, you know, Hoffenheim. Consistency has been a real problem for them.
Sometimes that happens when you've had a great season the year before, you've got into Champions League places, you lose a few of your top players, and then suddenly it's very hard the second season. I think that's what's happening with Hoffenheim. I think if they lose this game, it's going to be very tough for them to actually turn it around, I feel, and push for a European place. I think Schalke, if they win this, they've got a great chance of doing that. So a lot for Nagelsmann to do at Hoffenheim in this second half of the season, I feel, to make sure they just don't go into freefall.
Goretzka. The club hierarchy honest enough to admit that they're very, very sad that they're going to be seeing the back of Leon Goretzka, who's agreed to join Bayern in June.
Yeah, I think he's a good player. Works hard in the middle of the park, but got some qualities as well. Good passer of the ball. I think Liverpool were trying to sign him. I think Arsenal were looking at him as well, but he's decided to go to Bayern Munich, and you can't blame him for that, can you? If he can get in the team.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's always the question, isn't it, for a young player? Can they establish themselves at a club like Bayern, where the demands are so high, competition intense? It's one for Bergstaller to chase, but out comes Baumann.
Oh, good refereeing again. Saw a foul, but waited to see if there was any advantage. No advantage, so he's brought it back for the free kick to Schalke.
Well, he's had a good game so far, hasn't he, Benjamin Brandt? He's only 28, the referee in charge today. His last game was actually in the third tier last weekend. Made his debut as a Bundesliga referee at this stadium back in August of 2015.
Well, what I like is that he's trying to get the game flow. And if he needs to bring it back, he brings it back to see if there's any advantage. But except for the VAR, there's not been an awful lot of difficult decisions for him so far.
Hoffenheim get the free kick. Still created precious little, haven't they? The visiting side, here's Schultz. And the pressure from Kehrer. Hubner. Closed down by Mbolo, and now it's Di Santo. They've got 4 forward in this attack here. It's a rather clumsy challenge, but the referee had a great view of it.
Yeah, I think he was stumbling and throwing himself to the floor to get the free kick. The referee was right out with play. Wait, play on.
Kader Jabek now for Hoffenheim. Vicancic. The crowd still bemoaning that decision not to give Schalke a free kick there. 3 waiting in the middle here.
No, I think the referee was right. He's cutting across here. And then he throws himself down. Look, he's already diving. It's like he's fallen into a swimming pool there, trying to get the free kick.
Here comes Caligiuri for Schalke. 6 minutes of the first half remaining. Mbolo is going to be beaten to that by Kevin Vogt. Maybe picked the wrong option. Yeah,
should have come to his right-hand side, really. Didn't get his head up. But another nice break from Schalke. They're in a really strong position here, 2-0 up. They can sit back, hit on the counter.
Caligiuri with the foul. Grilic, the player brought down.
Just a slight touch there. He makes the most of it, Grilic, but it is a free kick. There is contact.
Could Hoffenheim get one back before half-time? The goalkeeper comes a long way, Fairman. Claimed it well and confidently.
Absolutely. Hasn't had anything to do. And when you have something to do, do it right, and he did it. Fairman there. Watched it all the way. And we're still waiting for Hoffenheim to have a shot on goal, aren't we?
Yep. As we move into the final 5 minutes of the first half, and when you think of some of the attacking talent they've got on the pitch with the likes of Ut and Saloy, Kramaric, Amiri, it's disappointing. Kramaric with the ball in, header clear by Naldo.
Yeah, but when you're up against it like they are at the moment, Hoffenheim, you're looking for characters, you're looking for leaders, and we're not seeing it. Kramaric, you know, Ut, Amiri, you've got to really get into the game and take this game by the scruff of the neck. You're 2-0 down and you're really struggling. Need some inspiration.
Kramaric with the cross. Amiri. Is there a foul there by Bicacic, who knew he was out of position? And he's shown a yellow card as well. The centre half.
Yeah, that's just pure frustration. Trying to deal with it. Steps across, steps across. I think they just need to get to half-time now at 2-0 Hoffenheim and then sort things out in that dressing room. The coach, Julian Nagelsmann, has really got to get into his players, reorganise, maybe change the shape a little bit. It just hasn't worked for them.
Just wonder how much it's in the minds of the players, how poorly they've been doing away from home. They've failed to win any of their last 7 away in all competitions, 5 of them defeats as well. Their last away victory was at bottom of the table Cologne on the 5th of November, and it's their longest wait, you know, for an away win in the Bundesliga since Nagelsmann took over. Well,
that's some stat, that, isn't it? And I think when you're in that sort of rut away from home, as a coach, you look and say, well, what can I change? Well, can I change the shape? Do I change the personnel? I think sometimes you're better off just changing the shape of your team and letting the players think about something else. And also, the opposition are expecting you to play a certain way. Change the way you play, and it gives them a problem. So I think Nagelsmann at half-time has got to certainly think about changing personnel, but I think he needs to change the shape here. It's been so comfortable for Schalke.
Which is a surprise when you consider how vulnerable Schalke themselves have been at the back. 1 clean sheet in 10 league matches for Schalke, so it suggests it's a defence that if you put them under any sort of pressure, they're likely to concede.
Absolutely. Both these teams have been short of confidence.
Kramaric. Amiri wanted it, but he didn't get it, and it's going to be struck from distance by Bicacic, but it was a fairly routine stop for Fairman.
Well, at least he's had something to do, Fairman. He says thank you very much, but it's straight at him. Not the best of shots, easy save for him, but at least Hoffenheim had a shot on target, and it's come from the defender. Bilicic, comfortable save.
He's only got 6 clean sheets in the league this season, Fairman, and he's played in every minute of the campaign as well. Grilic. Amiri. He's recovered that situation pretty well, but then it's broken to Bergstaller. The trick was by Benjamin Hubner.
It's a foul. Tackle from behind. Contact was made, the referee's right. I think he's done well, though, the referee, first half. Handled it well, what he's had to do. The last thing Hoffenheim want, though, is to concede another goal before half-time, otherwise it is completely over this match.
To say they've been far from brilliant, Schalke, but pretty good, which is, and haven't looked like a side who've only taken 4 points from their first 5 games of 2018. Their worst tally at the start of a calendar year since the 92-93 season. Forward it went from Stambouli. Easy take for Baumann.
Yeah, easy for the goalkeeper, watches it all the way.
Kaderabek. Goretzka takes it away for Schalke. Embolo, who got the second with a bit of help from Kevin Vogt. As we move into added time, just the 60 seconds of it. What have you made of the first half, Nigel?
Well, I think Schalke are well worth their 2-0 lead. Maybe could have been 3 except for the VAR. But I've been extremely disappointed with Hoffenheim. They haven't got going yet, and I think they haven't got going this second half of the season since the winter break. So both teams who came into this with little confidence, it's been Schalke who've gained the confidence by playing a poor side.
Oop with the pass. Played wide by Amiri, Kaderabek with the cross in, and oops, one of those there. Half chance at the end of this first half for Uten Hoffenheim. It's just been kept in by Hubner. Could be the last attack of the first half as Schultz sends it in. Dangerous cross. Kaderabek was arriving at the back post.
Yeah, the keeper got a really important touch on that.
De Santo. Clearance by Kevin Vogt. Well, they've maybe saved some of their best football there for the final 60 seconds of the first half. Julian Nagelsmann's side, but it was Thilo Kehrer, one of their own at Schalke, who gave them the lead after 11 minutes. And Breel Embolo got the second after a big mistake by the Hoffenheim skipper Kevin Vogt after 28 minutes. We'll have a look through the first half highlights shortly, but at half-time at the Veltins Arena, it's Schalke 2, Hoffenheim 0.
This programme is sponsored by Bet365.
And it's in! It's powered in! There it is! That's the moment! So how about that? Finished in deadly fashion!
Such a simple thing. Clean water at the turn of a tap. It's like magic. Takes no time at all. And yet millions of people in the developing world walk up to 6 hours every day for water. Stella Artois has partnered with us at water.org to change that. Together, we've already helped provide more than 1 million people with access to clean water. By buying a pack, you can help give back their precious time.
Choose and buy your perfect car with complete control. Visit carwow.com and see what you could save.
We've come a long, long way together through the hard times and the good. I have to celebrate your day.
Yesterday, today, and tomorrow, we have been and always will be by your side.
I have to praise you like I should.
Oh my God.
Someone's knocking at the door. Somebody's ringing.
It's a hug.
For £10 a month, and it's going to some good causes. And when you win that amount of money, it's life-changing for us.
Sign up before midnight on the 22nd of February. If we come to your postcode, just make sure you're playing.
Whatever your story, this is a great place to start. Premier Inn. Oak Furnitureland's February super sale must end Sunday. This St Ives chest of drawers is now only £2.99. Hurry to a store near you. Must end Sunday.
These boots are made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. One of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you. Are you ready, boots? Start walking.
Walk 10,000 steps every day in March and raise money for life-saving research. Search Walk All Over Cancer.
Get ready for earth-shattering action. Unleash the power with over 200 million downloads worldwide. Assemble your team. Defeat powerful opponents with all your favorite fighters. Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. Available now for phone and tablet.
Introducing the new Jaguar E-Pace.
Hey, down there!
Whoa, excuse me.
What do you want?
Sorry, you took our daughter's bag.
Your daughter? Your daughter's bag. Yep. Got it. Thanks a lot. Cheers.
V-Bag by Vodafone. Keep track of the things you care about.
This programme is sponsored by Bet365.
Welcome back, everybody. So Schalke leading by 2-0 at half-time at the Veltins Arena. So much live football coming up on BT Sport to look forward to. What a fixture that is. Leaps off the page, doesn't it, at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea against Barcelona, Tuesday 7. Always reminds me of the Ronaldinho goal, that one. You'll probably remember that from years ago. It's 4K UHD. It's in as well. Great tie in the UEFA Youth League. Liverpool against Manchester United and Derby in the Under-19s League, Wednesday 2:45, and then the senior United side, they're away in Spain against Sevilla, Wednesday at 7 o'clock. Celtic will take a lead with them to Russia against Mancini. Zenit 1-0 up from the first leg in Glasgow. That's Thursday at 5:30. Arsenal 3 up from the first leg in Sweden. That's at the Emirates, 7:30 against Östersunds. It's also in 4K UHD on Thursday. So the first half highlights then from the Veltins Arena. So much has been going on in this game. A big match in the race for the European places in Germany's top flight. The former Wigan, Chelsea and Blackburn forward Franco Di Santo with one of the earlier strikes on goal. Fantastic effort that, Nigel Spatman. Well saved by Baumann.
Yeah, he moves it from his right foot onto his left foot. Good strike, straight at Baumann, who pushes it over the top. But Di Santo in good form at the moment. Scored a goal last week, and I think he's wanting to get another this evening.
And from the resulting corner, Schalke took the lead. And it was a lovely header, wasn't it, from Thilo Kehrer, a youth graduate at Schalke, his first league goal of the season.
Yeah, they didn't clear their lines. Hoffenheim kept it alive, Schalke. And when it's played back in, you can see the centre-forward's offside. There, Bergstaller, but he's not interfering with play, and that's why the goal stood. Really good header from Kehrer.
Looped in, didn't it? Baumann beaten, Schalke in front, and then just 2 minutes and 44 seconds later, they got what they thought was the second goal through Embolo. And I've got to say here, the finish was beautiful, wasn't it?
Brilliant finish. He had one thing in his mind, just to go for goal. I'm confident I can score. Unfortunately, when it comes back, you can see the ricochet, it comes back and he's half a yard offside, and when they go to VAR, they give the offside. But this is a wonderful finish from the young man. Loops it up over the goalkeeper, Baumann, but unfortunately, it went to VAR.
And we have to say, full praise to the officials, because there was just 1 minute and 2 seconds in between the goal being scored and then disallowed. It was a great example of how VAR should be used, but this wasn't a good example of defending from Kevin Folks. The captain, what on earth is he doing? And Embolo, having had an earlier effort disallowed, now gets his goal.
Yeah, and he deserved that, Embolo. They're trying to play out of the back here. In fact, just clear your lines or go back to your goalkeeper. Tries to play it square. Embolo reads it. First touch is away in front of him. And the second one, he slides in to get there before the goalkeeper, Baumann, to give it 2-0 Schalke. And that young man deserved that. Having had the VAR knock his first goal off, gets the second for Schalke.
Well, this in the closing stages of the first half, where perhaps Hoffenheim had their best spell, really, the final few minutes, really. This was an effort for Bicacic.
Yeah, Bicacic hits the target. They have a shot on goal, and Fährmann has to do something, and had anything to do all half. But on 43 minutes, he has to make a save for the first time.
Yeah, disappointing first half from Julian Nagelsmann's side. I'm sure he will feel that they could and should be doing far better. Schalke with that 2-goal advantage, and the second half's coming up next.
This programme is sponsored by Bet365.
Knockout after knockout after knockout. Yard looking to end it right here. Daniel Dubois. And it is all over. Oh my goodness.
A message to the sleep poor. Join the sleep rich. Try the Eve mattress with our 100-night trial. If you don't sleep better, we'll pick it up again for free.
Goodbye meal planning stress. Hello Fresh. Save 50% off your first Rapid box using the offer code RAPID. Hello Fresh. Dinner is solved.
Hair today, gone tomorrow? Not if I get my way.
Contact us for a free consultation or go online. Hair loss? Belgravia Centre.
Are we taking our last look at them? Are we really saying, goodbye, old friend? When poachers kill more beautiful, majestic elephants than are being born, we could be looking at a world without elephants. Please adopt an elephant with WWF for just £3 a month. Call 0800 035 5912 or search WWF Elephants. Then let's make sure.
There's no hot water again.
Oh, great. The boiler's on the blink again. Can't afford to get it fixed until payday. What am I going to do? Quick, think. OK, you'll have to smell today, but I'll get someone out later to look at it.
Restore some order with a short-term loan from Quickquid. Find out more at quickquid.co.uk.
Engaging conversations and a shot at finding the one. That's why I'm on Elite Singles.
EliteSingles.co.uk for single professionals.
With my leg, it's difficult to get to the pharmacy.
Get your NHS repeat prescription delivered free to your home. Register now with pharmacy2u.co.uk/NHS.
It makes sense.
Our world still has legendary places waiting to be explored. Claim their mysterious treasures in Diggy's adventure for yourself. But beware, the path is full of puzzles that only few can solve. Your journey awaits. Download Diggy's Adventure in your app store for free today.
Dan's taken control of his finances. His credit score and report are totally free on totallymoney.com. Oh, that's a good touch for a big lad. Totallymoney.com.
What's not to love about a Crocodile garage door? Designed to add style, security, and even value to your home. Call Crocodile on 08000 11 2234 and find out just how quick and simple they are to install. You'll love their neat, space-saving design. And it's a doddle to use. But you know what I love? The craftsmanship. It's cracking. It's crocodile style.
Yopa. Of course I've heard of Yopa. They're amazing. They're the estate agents who make it a doddle to sell your home.
With a dedicated local agent.
And all for a low fixed fee. And with Yopa's no sale, no fee plan, you don't have to pay a penny until your house is sold. I would love to use Yopa to sell my home, but I live in my mum's basement.
Who are you talking to, Greg?
No one, Mum. Get real.
Yopa. Seriously, why not?
If we've equipped the Citroen C3 with active safety brake, it's for Sam. This system automatically applies the brakes in the event of an emergency, because we know Sam's a little absent-minded. Oh, and by the way, that's Sam. Citroen C3 with 36 colour combinations and 10 driving aids. We could have made a car, but we made a car for you. Citroen C3 is now available to test drive at your local dealer. Citroen.
Yes, Brendan, the boys done good, but you've got to beware those Russian hackers. And respect Arsenal. Now back home to finish the job. You wait for Europa League continues live Thursday on BT Sport.
This programme is sponsored by Bet365.
So Schalke 2 the good at the Veltins Arena. What a nice header that was by Thilo Kehrer to put them 1 up after 11 minutes, but it was a calamity at the bat from the Hoffenheim captain Kevin Vogt, which presented the opportunity to Breel Embolo to get the second, and he took that chance. Just before we kick off, let's tell you about some UFC tonight. Donald Cerrone and Yancy Medeiros go head-to-head in a welterweight showdown at UFC Fight Night in Austin, plus Derek Lewis versus Marcin Tybura and James Vick against Francisco Trinaldo. That's from midnight, BT Sport 2 for that one. Interesting how these two sides have gone in completely opposite directions in terms of comparing their league form to last season. Schalke are an impressive 7 points up right now, despite the recent blip they've had, whereas Hoffenheim are the same number of points down on the same stage of the previous campaign. What a feat it would be if they could secure a second successive top 4 finish, though. Still achievable, but on the evidence of that first half, Nigel Spatman, they're going to have to do a lot better, not just in this game, but going forward as well.
Well, they need to show to their coach and their supporters tonight that they can actually turn things around. They need to try and get something out of this game. They were so poor, Hoffenheim, in that opening 45 minutes. They can't play any worse.
Well, Schalke, for their part, know that a victory here this evening would take them level on points with Borussia Dortmund to occupy the final Champions League place. If Hoffenheim could turn this all around, and it's not beyond the realms of possibility when you look at Schalke's recent defensive record. They would go level on points with the Royal Blues if they won this Hoffenheim, but it is a long way back. They need a positive and quick start to the second half, the visiting side.
Well, the big thing is for Hoffenheim, they must get the next goal, and they've got to do that in the first sort of 20 minutes and give themselves a real chance to go on, and maybe that confidence will seep out of Schalke, because neither of these sides really, since the winter break, have been playing well and defending well. They've been giving goals away, although they've been scoring goals, so I think that gives hope to Hoffenheim.
Just to emphasise that point about Schalke's defence, 1 clean sheet in their last 10 league matches. Hoffenheim looking to get forward earlier here, and it's asked a lot of Kader Jabek how Schalke would love a return to the sort of consistency that saw them finish in the top 4 3 seasons running between 2012 and 2014. Of course, we're all the way down in mid-table at the end of last season. 10th they finished. It's their first season without European competition since the 2009-10 campaign, when they finished second, only 5 points behind Bayern. That year the squad included the likes of Neuer, Hervidez, Farfan, Rakitic, Edu, Kuranyi, and Felix Magath was the coach.
Yeah, but unfortunately they've sold a lot of their top young players, just like Hoffenheim have done in recent seasons as well.
Franco Di Santo with the cross. Hopeful ball in, claimed by Baumann.
But you've got to keep hoping if you're Hoffenheim here. Nagelsmann getting stuck into his players at half-time, rejigging a few things. But if they can get the next goal without giving anything away in the meantime, they've still got a chance.
Kadejabek. Combining nicely there with Ut. And we get the free kick too. And the assistant here down as well.
Yeah, I think he's really hurt his ankle there, the assistant. I don't think it was a free kick. I think he stopped the play because the assistant went down. Or maybe he has given a foul for that, because it looked like a foul. But where's the assistant? He's out of picture. Here he is. Oh, twisted ankle, I think, that one.
Oh, dear. Oh, goodness me.
Well, he's not going to be able to continue, that's for sure. They're going to have a replacement here, so that's going to waste a bit of time. But it was a definite free kick, and he waved for it. But there was so much pain, he actually threw the flag down as well there, Adam.
Yeah.
And I've done that on numerous occasions, ankle ligaments, and it is very painful.
I could even say I've done ankle ligaments, so I know.
Yeah?
Yeah, I have. Took a long time to get right again. In fact, I'll tell you what, it's never, ever been right properly since.
You know, when I was my first club, Bournemouth, and the physio used to make me go down and walk in the cold sea. And if anybody's walked in a cold sea down in Bournemouth in the November, December, once you've done that for a few months, your ankle ligaments are fine after that, because they've gone numb.
Yeah, mine was trying to do a block tackle, but not doing it very well.
What, you injured yourself doing it?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Playing five-a-side.
So you're getting aggressive and hurting yourself.
Well,
it's a dangerous game, you know, football.
Yeah, tell me about it. Well,
but ankle ligaments take an awful long time to heal, and unfortunately for the assistant, he's going to have to come off, pack that with ice.
Well, Nagelsmann here, I'm not quite sure what his complaint is, because he's had several things to say here, and it doesn't look great for Nagelsmann. I've got to say, when there's a guy who's clearly, we don't know what he's saying, I get that, but he's clearly remonstrating about something which maybe isn't the correct time to be doing it when there's a guy who's just going off injured. But anyway, as I say, I'll stress, we don't know what his complaint is, but it's not exactly well timed, is it?
No, it's not, and someone's injured. It's like if a player goes down and you think it's a serious injury, you have to stop the play. But I think that's just frustration from him. His side haven't played well in the first half. He's hoping for better things in the second half, and this has stopped their momentum a little bit from Hoffenheim here. But you can't blame the referee for that.
Clearly unable to continue, the assistant. The change required in terms of the official on that near side. And we're going to have a fair bit of added time at the end of this game. What have you made of the way that Hoffenheim, Nagelsmann's side, have started this second half, though, Nigel?
Well, they started a lot more positive than they showed in that first 45 minutes. But the big thing is, at the end of it, they need to score a goal. It's just not about confidence or anything. They need to get a goal. And that can come out of anything. But this stop in play, really, the players are getting a little bit cold here. They have to start running around, keep warm. But Nagelsmann should be there with his players, actually, instead of remonstrating with the assistant.
We're going to see a change made here by Hoffenheim. Steven Zuber is going to be coming on. So a further delay while that change gets made as well.
Well, I think he needs to run up and down and get warm himself.
Who's going to be coming off here then? So it's Zuber who will come on, and it's Schultz who was a doubt for this game anyway with a thigh problem he's been carrying, is replaced by Zuber. So if that is a recurrence of that injury, the problems mount for Nagelsmann. No wonder he's looking a bit frustrated down there. I listed earlier the players he's already missing today with the likes of Gnabry and Geiger and Posch.
Yeah, that's using up one of your substitutes that you don't want to do. You want it to do for tactical reasons rather than injury. But Zuber comes on for Schultz. But it's all about this free kick here for Hoffenheim now. Sometimes when everything's gone dead, can you deliver a really good ball in there and catch Schalke cold?
Nadia Mamiri is the man who will take the free kick. Youth graduate at Hoffenheim, German under-21 international. Played in with a fair degree of pace. The header harmless enough from a Schalke perspective.
Yeah. Kramaric with the header, but couldn't direct it on target. And he's really frustrated at the moment, Nagelsmann. But they're still in this game. As you said, if they can get the next goal and it's 2-1, suddenly the confidence might just seep out of Schalke.
Flicked on by De Santa. Bergstaller. It's Grilic who came across.
Yeah, he does that job really well, Grilic. Holding midfield player, breaks things up, gives it to more talented players to make the passes, but he hasn't had enough of the ball himself to thread those balls to his teammates.
Got to say, he was really good against Mainz last weekend, Florian Grilic. And you know, every time I've seen him play, he's looked really good, actually.
Yeah, in that holding role, that more defensive role.
Towards Mbolo.
Yeah, he's only 22, isn't he, Grilic, the Austrian? I think he might move on to bigger and greater things if he keeps playing the way he has been playing over the last couple of seasons.
Mbolo. It's all been a bit stop-start, hasn't it, this second half so far? There's a yellow card to Kevin Vogt, who, of course, played a big part in that second goal for Schalke. He was late there on Goretzka.
Yeah, it's a yellow card all day long, isn't it? Challenge from behind. But he hasn't had the best of evenings, has he, as you said? Got caught by Mbolo for that second goal, which he stuck away really well. But he's really got to lead his team out of the doldrums here. They're not playing well. They've only had one shot on target. They're 2-0 down. They really need to dig deep. And you need your captain to lead you out of it.
10 minutes gone in the second half, but we've far from had 10 minutes of play with that lengthy stoppage. Well, there was the change in assistant referee. That's a long way out. Replaced by Caligiuri. And there's the signal, and there's the ball. And Naldo was there, so was Hubner. Put behind by Soloy.
Yeah, but it's a lovely disguised little ball in from Caligiuri. Dinked over the top. Good defending in the end from Hoffenheim, out for the corner. But they really can't afford to concede a third goal, Hoffenheim.
Decided against playing the short corner, and it's Caligiuri who's surely just going to swing this one in now. Capable of delivering a mean set piece, and it's flicked on, and well held by Baumann. The effort from Bergstaller.
Yeah, lovely little flick, but straight at the goalkeeper. Either side of him, that might have found the back of the net. Went straight into his hands.
Soloy gets it wide. Now Kaderabek holds off Schupf. Goalkeeper's come a long way here. Fairman leapt above his own man there in Caligiuri.
I have to say, that's just what you want from your goalkeeper if you're a defender, but this is the chance. Whipped in, little flick at the near post, straight at the goalkeeper. Either side from Bergstaller, that would have been in the back of the net. But as I said, coming back to Farman, that's what you want. You're 2-0 up, ball comes in the box, wherever it is the goalkeeper comes, he's confident, come and claim it.
It's going to be a race to keep that in. Just about managed it, Kevin Vogt. Really do need to get their away form sorted out, though. Hoffenheim, victory they had at Cologne in early November, their last away win, their only victory in 13 away matches in all competitions. They've lost 8 of them as well, as Bicacic, who was recalled to the side today, is replaced here. And it's the Austrian Zulia who's come on to replace him.
Well, it'd be interesting to see if they change it from a back 3 to a back 4 now. I think that's what they've probably done, is gone back to a back 4 here, changed the formation.
Determined play by Bergstaller. Came off Kevin Vogt, and there was a foul by the Austrian international Guido Bergstaller.
Well, he had to do something, Nagelsmann. They weren't getting anywhere in this game. They weren't really creating many chances, Hoffenheim, so he's changed it now. And really, they've got to go a lot more direct, I feel, Hoffenheim. Push the 2 full-backs on, play it long.
It's Soloy protesting to the referee here. He's seen precious little of the ball in the final third this evening, and penalised for handball there.
Yeah, it was handball as well. Been frustrating for most of those players out there in those orange kit tonight.
Almost an hour gone, and little sign at the moment of Hoffenheim getting themselves back into this, but they have got the throw in. Well anticipated, wasn't it? And this is Franco Di Santo with Bergstaller going through the middle. Haven't got Embolo into the game much, have they, in the second half so far?
No, not yet. They've got to get some controlled possession again, Schalke, get it into those front men. They're working hard enough, but they're not keeping possession, and that's given a little bit of momentum to Hoffenheim.
Laid down the line by Zuber, Mark Uth. No, wasn't quite on the same wavelength as the second half sub. Here's Goretzka. Referee's played the advantage here. Schupf. It's got Bergstaller and Embolo and Di Santo all there. It's Goretzka. Caligiuri. Stambouli with the challenge, which the Hoffenheim players weren't happy about.
Well, it's because he slid in with the studs up a little bit, I feel. There you go, over the top of the ball. That's a definite free kick, that's dangerous play. And really deserves a yellow card for that sort of challenge. Although he got the ball, he's right over the top of it.
Naldo with a good ball here to Bergstaller. 4 forward in this attack for the Royal Blues. Oh, that's really nicely done. The shot was pretty tame in the end from Caligiuri. The build-up good, though.
Yeah, he did. He slipped, though, Caligiuri. He wanted to get it back onto his right foot and pull the trigger, and he just slipped at the vital moment. He didn't get enough power on it, and comfortable save for Baumann. But the game's getting stretched more and more now. I think that's all down to Hoffenheim changing it from a back 3 to a back 4, pushing the full-backs on and trying to take Schalke deeper towards their own goal.
Schalke seeking their 6th home win of the season here today. The previous 5 have come against Leipzig, Stuttgart, Mainz, Hamburg and Augsburg. But the most recent was on the 13th of December for that man. Their only league win in 4 games on their own patch. So this would be significant if they could claim victory. And this is Embolo. And Hoffenheim looks stretched. Schupf has kept it going, but it's a bit disappointing that in the end, what had looked so promising from Schalke.
Well, I think Embolo was reluctant to take the shot on himself, just trying to slot the strike partner in, but if you look the other way, Bergstaller was alongside him as well, but the young man should have taken the shot on himself, and that's that underlying lack of confidence that he does have in those situations. His team's 2-0 up, just have a shot yourself, put your laces through it, maybe make it 3.
That looks a bit like a crash course in how to operate the fourth official sport, didn't it? Caligiuri will take the corner. Still trying to get this clear here, Hoffenheim, and they do through Kadejabek. Volleyed forward by Stambouli. Slip by Oots. Nothing's going really for Hoffenheim, is it? Kevin Vogt in there before Bergstaller. Just been a distinct lack of quality to Hoffenheim right throughout the game, really.
Yeah, I think that the problem is when you're lacking confidence, you know, you don't want to take your touch on the ball, you just want to get rid of it, and they're not kept enough possession, and that's given the ball to Schalke on more occasions, and they've taken advantage of that. But they're still very fragile, both these teams, in possession with their confidence, and this can quickly change if Hoffenheim get a goal back.
Kramaric, could they do so here? It was in towards Saloy, headed clear by Naldo. Foul on Di Santo by Grilic. Would be quite the feat if Hoffenheim were to turn this around from this point. He'll know that Schalke are a tough nut to crack on their own patch, beaten only twice here in the league this season. Bayern and Bremen decides to manage it.
Yeah, but he'll also be telling his players at half-time that, you know, we might be 2-0 down, but since the turn of the year, when it's come back, they've only taken 4 points from 15, so they're still very fragile, and that's the one thing that Hoffenheim have in their favour is, let's get a goal back and see what Schalke really are made of here.
They're preparing a third and final change, Hoffenheim. Kadejabek has played it wide. And that was a silly free kick to give away, really, in the circumstances. Challenged by Alessandro Schupf.
No, you're absolutely right. That's what Hoffenheim want, free kicks, corners. But what they've got to do when they do get into these areas, they've got to test the goalkeeper. And Fairman hasn't been tested enough. I think he's only been tested on one occasion in 65, 66 minutes.
They'll surely have to make something of situations like this, Hoffenheim, because they've created precious little from open play right throughout the game. It's badly overhit, and it just really sums things up from Hoffenheim's perspective right now.
You're absolutely right. You're in a good position there. All the big men are up, and you overhit it straight into the goalkeeper's hands. It's real bad quality.
Embolo tried to slip it through for Bergstaller. Oh, brilliant skill! It's wide, but what a lovely flick that was to set up the chance in the first place.
Absolutely, great awareness and skill, execution over the top of the defender. Hits it on his left foot, but slices across it, and it's bending wide. Bolo can't get on the end of it.
So Amiri, who's been largely ineffective by his standards today, is the player who's coming off, and it's Lucas Rupp who's coming on. Back from a knee injury that's kept him out of the last 2 games. But his last goal, actually, was against Schalke, back in that 2-0 victory for Hoffenheim in September. They've got to get more service up to that man, surely, Saloy.
Well, they've had no service whatsoever, Saloy. So really, with Rupp coming on as well, it's an attacking move from Nagelsmann, but they need more possession, and they need shots at goal, and they haven't done that.
Bayern well on their way to a 6th league title in a row. 21 points clear right now, but the battle behind them for the European place is intensifying by the week. These two are the clubs firmly involved and jostling for position. This would be a really significant 3 points for Schalke against one of their direct rivals for the European places. It would take them 6 points clear of Hoffenheim. That's not a good challenge, but the referee has let it go. That tackle from Goretzka, I think he might want to have a word with him once the ball goes out of play, though. And yeah, indeed he does.
Really good referee in that. It's a poor challenge, definite yellow card. He knows that. Goretzka as well. The referee let the play go on, but there's no advantage in the end. Slides in, studs up, catches the top of the foot.
Kramaric. Gadajabek with the cross. Again, it's nowhere near the Hoffenheim player. They're a bit lucky there that they've got a corner out of it.
Absolutely, but the goalkeeper there's got to tell the defender what's going on.
Needs to be an urgency about Hoffenheim. It's former Leicester player Kramaric who's gone across to take this. Naldo got his head to it. It's come out to Rupp. Vogt. They've got two forwards in real good goal-scoring form in Saloy and Kramaric. Each have got 3 in their last 3 games, yet they've seen so little of the ball in the final third.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and that just frustrates them. They're probably working hard off the ball, looking for it, and it's just not coming their way.
Kramaric with the cross. It's a good cross as well. And they're queuing up in there. It's broken to Oot, and the goalkeeper couldn't get hold of that. Behrman, as the shots come in, I think that was on target as well. It's Caligiuri who got his head in the way of that. The effort from Zuber. It's a bit better from Hoffenheim.
Well, that's what they've got to do. They've made the substitutions now.
And look how many orange shirts there are in this attack as it's deflected onto the top of the goal. Saloy with the chance.
Well, they've changed it to a back four. They've been more offensive. They've got more offensive players on Hoffenheim, and they fancy their chances of getting a goal back here. And if they do, what a Schalke made of.
He scored a brace against one of his former clubs, Adam Saloy, last weekend. Was facing another one here in Schalke. Kramaric to take the corner. Naldo with the header clear. Rupp trying to make something of it and dispossesses Embolo, but it will be a throw into Schalke.
Well, that's much better from Hoffenheim. They're asking a few questions of Schalke for the first time, really. Sustained pressure on that Schalke defence. But it's still that important scoreline up in the top left-hand corner. Schalke 2, Hoffenheim 0. And Hoffenheim need a goal, and they need it quick.
Should tell you about tomorrow's live Bundesliga action on BT Sport. Augsburg up against Stuttgart first of all, 2:30, that's on 2. As is what could be a real cracker, couldn't it? Gladbach against Dortmund, 5 o'clock for that one, also on 2. Hubner, closed down by Embolo. Hoffenheim unbeaten in their last 3 meetings with Schalke, but heading for defeat here. Unless there's a dramatic turnaround, but it's Schalke who have possession with Stambouli. Zuba got there before Caligiuri. Just gives possession to it. Di Santo with the flip. Up towards Adam Soloy. Showed too much of it to Naldo.
Oh, brilliant from the Brazilian, Naldo. Read the situation, real turn of pace as well from the 35-year-old. Kept it from going for a corner as well.
It's 10 years, over 10 years now since his last cap for Brazil. It was in August 2007. I wonder whether Chichi is thinking about him for the World Cup. Uch sends in the cross.
Well, he overhits it, Uch, as well. This is the skill from Naldo. Good pace. And keeps it from going for a corner. Just quick feet out for the throw-in, and I'll get back and defend my goal.
He's 3 years older, you know, than his manager.
And he looks it.
Bergstaller. One back by Zuba. Oot. They are playing better now, Hoffenheim. Need some end product, though. Oot. Kramaric. Created the room for the shot and drilled it in. That's a good effort and a fine stop as well by Fairman.
He comes inside, Kramaric on his favoured right foot. It's a comfortable save, good height for the goalkeeper, but at least they're testing him now. Fairman's having something to do, and Schalke are going to make a change.
As we head towards the final 15 minutes of normal time, there will be a fair bit added, you would think, at the end of the game, remember, because of that stoppage for the injury to the assistant referee who turned his ankle. Zuba. Could be a real platform for growth, this, for Schalke, if they can take all 3 points. Their form of late, certainly not that of a top four side. They've only won 2 of their last 10 league games, 5 of them draws. There's a change being made here. Marco Piazza, who's on loan from Juventus, will replace the Argentinian international Franco Di Santo. Had a dream debut. Marco Piazza scored in that 1-1 draw against Hanover. The agent's been saying just recently that it might have been worth him staying at Juventus with that injury that happened with Dybala. Said that maybe that would have created some space for him to get into the Juve side, but we'll look to make the most of this loan spell in Germany. What a fixture we have coming up on BT Sport from the Bundesliga on Monday. 7:15 our coverage begins of Eintracht Frankfurt against Leipzig. 2 of the teams going for the top 4. That's on 3 on Monday. And then next Friday, Mainz against Wolfsburg is live from 7:15. BT Sport 1 for that one. Wolfsburg so narrowly beaten today by Bayern. They've taken the lead in that game through Didavi, but we've got the equaliser, and then Lewandowski with an injury time penalty, winning it for the champions. 21 points clear they are now.
Just the 21.
Yeah.
And they had a bad start to the season, sacked their manager. And the rest is history.
I think they're going to take some catching. Rupp with the pass. There's no shortage of players committed forward here, is there, for Hoffenheim? But again, they failed to make the most of it. Foul on Piazza, and the yellow card is shown the way of Grilic.
Yeah, silly foul. It's putting him back. Once you pull the shirt, it's going to be a yellow card. No option for the referee.
Well, he was worried about them racing away there, wasn't he? The Austrian international Florian Grilic. They've rather played within themselves, I think it's fair to say, in this second half. Schalke not having to force the issue with them being 2 goals to the good at half-time. The onus is very much on Hoffenheim.
And the problem is, the more Hoffenheim push forward, the more they're going to leave the back door open. You could concede a third.
Zuba. Rupp. And a Jarbet with the crossover. And Kramaric! They've got one back. And that makes this very interesting again. Andre Kramaric with the well-placed header that gets Nagelsmann's team very much back in this at 2-1.
Absolutely, they've been knocking on the door without really creating too much. Lovely ball floated in. Kramaric, great header, heads it down in the corner, uses the pace on the cross. Kadabek, lovely header. And they've still got plenty of time to get an equaliser, but that's a wonderful header, and used the pace on the cross, headed it down. Goalkeeper Fairman, no chance whatsoever.
And that's 4 goals in 4 games now for Andre Kramaric, having not scored since August before this run. Well, not a league goal anyway, so he's really turning things around from a personal perspective. Could this be the start of a turnaround for his team in this game? The doubt maybe will get in the back of the minds now of these Schalke players. They've not been on a good run, as we've stressed. Neither of the teams have. Zuba. The deep cross. And it's going to be kept going here by Kadejabek, and suddenly they're under all sorts of pressure here, but that's a good claim from Fairman, just what Schalke needed from him in the circumstances.
Absolutely, it's a poor cross in, it's a good height for the keeper, no pace on it for him to come and take that. Really good goalkeeping from Fairman. But really now this game is changed around, getting a goal back, Hoffenheim. Suddenly the momentum has changed in this game, and the crowd, the Schalke crowd, are trying to lift their team because they know their confidence is short, but they're still 1 up.
Slip there by Fairman as we head towards the final 10 minutes. It's going to be an interesting 10 minutes. Bergstaller. Grilic has done well once more. Suddenly there's a bit more confidence here about Hoffenheim, but Mark Uth is offside.
Yeah, just went a fraction too early there, Uth. As the defenders are coming up, just went right in front of the assistant. It's a good spot, that. Sometimes it's difficult for the assistant right in front of them, but they've got a bit of momentum here, Hoffenheim. And as you touched on, with the assistant having to go off injured, there's going to be a lot of added time on here.
Yeah, we're going to have at least another 15 minutes. You'd think possibly even a bit more. Vogt.
We have to give credit to Nagelsmann as well. He changed it from a back 3 to a back 4. He's made attacking substitutions, and it's turned it around a little bit here for Hoffenheim, but they do need another goal. Can they get 1 or 2?
Bergstaller. This is where the danger is going to lie, though, for Hoffenheim as they commit numbers forward. Goretzka. Well, it's wide. You could understand him taking on the chance that...
Absolutely. Nobody comes out to him. He's backing off, despite. He goes for that bottom corner, just doesn't quite get enough bend in it. But I think Baumann would have had it covered anyway.
Harrit is going to be coming on shortly for Schalke. To say the art of defending seems to have been a little forgotten in the Bundesliga this season. Before today, Schalke had conceded 29 goals in 22 games. You can make that 30 now. And that 29 figure was the same number as Leipzig, Dortmund and Leverkusen ahead of this match day, all sides with top 4 ambitions.
Yeah, it's really entertaining for us, though. maybe not so much for some of the coaches or supporters at times.
Moving ball. They want to make this change as well. Had it, the player who's coming on, and he's also got his name on the score sheet today. Mbolo made the most of the mistake by Kevin Vogt to score his second league goal of the season.
Yeah, he deserved that as well, because he had that goal knocked off for VAR, which was the correct decision as well. But I think he's worked hard this evening, Mbolo, and the more he plays, after all those terrible injuries he's had, I think the better he'll become.
The man coming on, Amin Adit, who's a Moroccan international, and he returned to training on Tuesday, had been suffering from a virus, so no surprise that he didn't start really. He was in the French squad that won the Under-19 Euro in 2016. Good source of creativity this season as well for Schalke, 7 assists. He's weighed in with a few goals as well. Slice clearance by Naldo. Can Schalke close this out, or can Hoffenheim find an equaliser? Rupp.
Really good defending there. Rupp just couldn't get the ball under control to take the defender on, bouncing away.
Kramaric. Well-timed challenge by Thilo Kehrer, who'd opened the scoring after 11 minutes. The second by Mbolo on 28, but Kramaric's goal on 78 minutes has certainly got Hoffenheim back in with a shout here. Played forward with purpose by Kevin Vogt. Kramaric with the ball in, and Ook couldn't make it stick, and Suba will fire it in, and great save by Fairman. But the flag was up. He wouldn't have counted from Saloy.
Yeah, but it's much better from Hoffenheim. It was offside. Good eyes from the assistant there. But he turns, this ball comes back in, he flicks it between his legs. The goalkeeper makes a fine save. But they need a goal from somewhere, Hoffenheim here. They're running out of time.
Just 2 points they've picked up from the last 18 available away from home, Hoffenheim. But if they could nick one here, it would feel really significant for them, you would imagine, particularly the circumstances they found themselves in, not playing well at all and 2-0 down at half-time.
Yeah, and poor defensive mistakes as well. Doesn't help, does it? Knocks your confidence. But they're still in this game.
Look at how much more of the ball they're having as well. In the last 20 minutes, 63% of the possession. I wonder whether that will increase even further as perhaps Schalke retreat a little bit in the closing stages. It would only be natural in a way if they did. A shot on the turn was, well, disappointing from Saloy.
Yeah, snatched at it a little bit there. Saloy didn't let it drop enough. If you're going to hit it on the volley, you've got to let the ball drop to a low point so you can hit it and get the dip on it. If you hit it when it's too high, it's going to go over the top. Mbolo and Di Santo, they're watching on now. They've been substituted off. They'll be hoping to get the 3 points here, those two. It could be turn out to be a really big win for Schalke.
Such an important 10 minutes or so ahead for both of these sides, depending on how much added time we do eventually get. You'd imagine it'd be at least 5, wouldn't you, with the stoppage that we had for the assistant going off?
I think it'd be nearer to the 8, maybe even 10 minutes. With the substitutions we've had, with that incident.
Yeah. Grilic was fouled there.
I don't think their home crowd would be too happy if he adds on about 10 minutes, do you?
No. It can't come soon enough, the final whistle, can it? With the tricky run of form they've been in as well of late, Schalke, remember, Coming to this off back-to-back league defeats. The top four finish and cup success, what Schalke are chasing, and it's very achievable for them. They're through to the semi-finals of the Pokal, where they've been drawn to face last season's beaten finalist Frankfurt at home in the Final Four. As I mentioned earlier, if they can win this game, they'll go level on points with Dortmund, who are fourth right now. Dortmund have got a better goal difference, though.
Yeah, but it just shows you, if you put a little run together, anything's achievable. Because, you know, Dortmund are in their out of form, Leverkusen are in good form, Bayern are in good form, Leipzig have a big game tomorrow, or Monday I should say, so the pressure starts to build, and if you can put a run together from beneath those teams, you're always putting pressure on them, especially if they're getting the 3 points before they do.
Well, the Hoffenheim captain Kevin Vogt clearly upset about the award of this free kick, but what can Schalke do from it? Wonderful support that they enjoy here, isn't it? Tremendous stadium as well, the Veltins Arena.
I think that's what you get with most German games, isn't it? The support is fantastic, the size of the crowds.
That's a lovely bit of skill. Grilic got in the way, the shot was by Kehrer. Grilic decided to go a little longer up towards Saloy, but it's headed clear by Naldo. Schalke's next game, a tough-looking trip to Bayer Leverkusen before a visit from Hertha. Hoffenheim entertain Freiburg next, and then head to another side chasing European qualification in Augsburg.
Yeah, they've been the surprise, haven't they, Augsburg, this season? Doing extremely well. If they can get to a European place, it's going to be fantastic for them.
It's all to play for, isn't it, in terms of the European places? We all know the title race is pretty much done and dusted, but goodness me, you look at the group of sides behind Bayern and how tight it all is. 8 points separating Bayer Leverkusen in second and Hertha in 11th.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just about putting a little run together, and then suddenly you can open up a gap or close up on the teams above you, and you get the confidence from that as well, and that's what Schalke are hoping to do.
We await with interest the fourth officials board here. There it is, 7 minutes.
Oh, I thought it was going to be 8. I thought it was going to be 8.
You went far off.
Went far off.
Good guess. Just in case you have recently joined us, that's because of an injury to the assistant referee on the near side who turned his ankle. Here's Rupp. And it's the dink little cross in towards Utu, got his head to it, and Fairman wasn't taking any chances. I think it probably was going over, but he needed to make sure.
Yeah, he did. At this stage of the game, certainly when you're 2-1 up, don't take any chances at all. It was way over the crossbar, but he's put it behind. Now they've got to defend this. Schalke.
Andrej Kramaric fires it in there, off the head of Naldo. Now it's Rupp. Just wonder whether they might get a little panicky here, Schalke, and start to really retreat.
I think you can see in their defensive play there, they're just kicking it, hacking it anywhere, get rid of it. Still, they need a little bit of composure here.
The free kick's gone in their favour, and that'll be a little bit of time that ekes away here for...
Yeah, if you're a Hoffenheim player, you don't want to give any free kicks away. If you can't get to the ball, let the defender deal with it.
Tedesco's side so close to a very significant 3 points here. Second minute of added time, 7 indicated by the fourth official.